Hi, I'm Barış Çağlar from the Department of Political Science and International Relations at MEF University, and this semester I'll be guiding you in Research Methods course. Why do you take this course? Let me start by telling you the purpose of this course. Before getting started, you must know what purpose it serves to start a thing. Otherwise, you cannot focus on what you are going to learn. You cannot succeed without a purpose. You must know why you are required to learn research methods. Why do you take this course? In order to understand that, you should learn first what research is. Second, what research methods is about. And finally, why do we conduct research? I will touch upon these points. How does it make sense to take a course about research methods? A quick and practical answer is because it's like the user manual to all other social science courses that you'll study in your entire life. Not only during university years, but you will also use research methods skills after graduating from the university each time you investigate, inquire, try to understand, explain, or predict a social happening, event, result, process, or interaction in general. Research methods is like the user manual or guidelines, as I say, in how to assemble the parts of a device you buy from a store. It's like that. Since we deal with concepts and social institutions, we deal with abstract phenomena, and thus research methods is also similar to constructing or building each part of the device you use in assembling. When you hear the name of the course, that doesn't tell much about itself. It's not like Introduction to Sociology or Introduction to International Relations or Security, Architecture of the Middle East. The name does not give much of a clue. Nevertheless, research methods courses are the building blocks of social sciences. They constitute the cornerstone without which it's not possible to argue that you talk about a subject in a credible and sensible way. It's about the fundamentals of argumentation. It's a social scientific language that scholars use when communicating to one another. I would like to extend the analogy to illustrate what research methods is and what it provides you with. The analogy is with constructing any building or house or tower or bridge, you name it. As you know, all the ingredients or components that you're using to construct a house is called building materials. A building material is any material which is used for construction purposes. For instance, sand, stone, wood, or rocks, cement, water, glue, bricks, walls, or even steel bars that give structure to the building are all building materials that are used to construct a building. Now, these materials are all concrete, and we can understand them with our senses, 5 senses. We can see, hear, smell, or touch them. Now, imagine, for instance, that you wonder about another stuff, like why do people smoke? Why do they start to smoke a cigarette and it turns out to be an addiction in time? Well, the answer to that question is like constructing a house or tower or a bridge, only with the exception that we don't use concrete building materials. We deal with abstract phenomena and use social interactions as our building material. Or you may wonder what nation states war with what other nation states? Why nation states go to war with one another? Why war? Again, the answer to that question requires research. In turn, to get to know how to conduct research, do research, you need to take research methods course. Research methods in social sciences guides you when you start constructing your house. House here, of course, denoting your argument or the answer to any research question. This course will help you, or it will tell you how to build your house, how to substantiate it, how to locate it in the literature, relevant literature, that is the environs or neighborhood you live in. That is other research projects, and how to present it to other people, researchers, and how to defend it when necessary. Thus, research methods is a know-how or the skill to find and develop your building materials that is used in a social science research paper. You yourself, on your own, need to find and develop the rocks, stones, bricks, steel bars, sand or cement, whatever you name it in the construction thing, these are the materials that are used to construct the building, and you need to build each of these materials to build the tower or bridge you're gonna do. Building or the tower, again here being the answer to a question. Research methods course, so it opens the door to the skill and know-how of how to find and develop these building materials of the social world. It not only guides you through while you are constructing each social material, but it also shows you important pathways to follow when you combine and mesh these materials to construct a new building in full, to construct the answer to the research question. You cannot put too much water in making a wall, for example, in the construction business, as the analogy approximates. There is a certain amount that is optimal necessary to do it. Thus, the knowledge and guidelines of how to mesh or combine these materials together in a rational, consistent, coherent, and systematic way is the subject of research methods. Bearing in mind that no analogy in social sciences is perfect, but somehow is made to be congenial to what is meant, I want you to consider or ponder another analogy that tries to depict the relation of research methods to other courses, to all other courses and curriculum, and social science at large. Here's how the analogy goes and might give some clue to you. If all other courses are different cars or automobiles, research methods is like learning about the mechanism of how the designers of that car made it. It also gives you the skill to drive the car, that is reading and understanding the findings of other research, why and how they are argued so, how it is situated within the literature, or how it is linked to the relevant literature. So research methods is also about understanding how a particular social research is brought about, conducted, and presented. It's about figuring out how and why it is argued and presented the way it is presented. In other words, research methods is both about building or making a car and also driving it. Even if you did not make the car, when you know research methods, that is akin to, it's like how to engineer a car, by the way, you can figure out how it is made by the designer of that car. If you're a mechanic, you know the working mechanism of a car. You may try to fix the problematical parts and make it less imperfect. Likewise, research methods is the nuts and bolts of doing research. It is the basics or essence of how to go about researching. Why does research exist? What's its use? What is it? What is research? Research is investigating into facts and life. It's an attempt of discovery. There are different ways of discovering or investigation. One can go ask an elderly wise person on what steps to take on a certain issue, or consult a psychic person that claims to tell future events, or one may also seek help from fortune tellers, can speculate, believe in foresaying, take guidance in mythology, gossip, or refer to commonsensical rationalizations of sorts. These are some of the unscientific ways of understanding and explaining developments and happenings in our everyday life. More often than not, human beings turn to these so-called ways of understanding life for ages. That's a blunt reality and a reason for scientific research is different from these enlisted ways of mentioned ways of trials or trials of getting to know something, in that it is accountable, credible, refutable, and repeatable. Scientific research, I repeat, accountable. Scientific research must be accountable, credible, refutable, repeatable, open to criticism, question-based, and beyond description. So, understanding life and universe is the big-time question of millennia. There are different ways of answering questions. We deal with the scientific one. That is what makes the sciences at large keep going. To study something scientific is different from going and listening to a fortune teller. It's different from coffee talk. Research is conducted to understand life, social events and phenomena. To understand, explain, and predict social happenings, processes, or results in a credible manner, we need certain guidelines. And research methods are those guidelines. These guidelines are both philosophically and practically indispensable for human life, and whether we know it or not, we use them every day. Both natural sciences and social sciences use certain guidelines. And in starting to construct our answers to questions such as what, how, and why some social events and happenings take place, with what implications, with what frequency, or under what conditions we depend upon and follow certain guidelines. Psychology, sociology, political science, international relations, law, or history are after answering particular questions that are regarded as significant for certain people. Research methods is the toolkit which will show us how to approach and explore social topics. This is why it gives the fundamentals or essence of social science. The subjects we study change, yet methods and methodology rarely changes for a particular researcher. This course is also about analysis and writing a research paper. We will focus on the writing process, starting with how to write each section of your research paper, the abstract, introduction, the literature review, the research design in general, case selection, and then presentation. Analysis and the discussion of findings are some of the topics that we'll go through in this course. In addition, we will work on how to organize sources and notes, as well as how to cite sources and follow certain style guidelines. That is the problematical part usually students experience. Well, then, it might be best to give a working definition about the course. Let's give a working definition of research methods. A definition for you to keep in mind throughout this course. Simply put, research methods is the rules of investigating into facts. And as for the concluding remarks, I'd like to highlight some important points pertaining how to go about this course, what you should do and not do when you take this course. First and foremost, attendance is key. When you're absent in some of the sessions of other courses, you can substitute or make it up somehow. Yet this course is very hard to catch up with when you miss classes, so do not miss a class unless you're dying. Secondly, it is indispensable that you come to the class prepared. The actors of flipped classroom are students, not the professor. It is mainly your show. You must show your professors that you struggle to learn and that you do a good job about it. That requires reading the articles assigned, watching the video, making a list of the points that you do not understand or appear vague to you. You should come to the class with your unanswered questions, questions that you cannot understand after having watched the video and having read the articles. And again, before coming to the first class of this semester, it's a must for you to read our textbook, the first 20 pages of it. Prepare a list of the vague points that are uneasy for you. And secondly, second item of your pre-class work is to watch this video at least twice. Please watch the video and read the 20-page reading to grasp and clarify the following points. What is research? Why it is done? How it is done? What is research methods is all about? Why do you take this course? And why are you going to learn and how you will be using this stuff in your life? Before coming to the class, before the class discussion, you should be able to more or less answer these questions on your own. And today we covered how are we going to go about this course, what it is all about, and what are we going to do in the first class of the course. And I want you to focus on the points that I enlisted. And till next time, bye.